Hello, this is Mark, and this is The Country Life with ColumbusMark, where I try to give you a lighthearted look at life in the country. If you're new here, please subscribe, come back often, share all those good things. And in this episode, I'm going to tell you about the time I grew a $30 cucumber. So you might be wondering how I came about a $30 cucumber. To be honest, this one's a facsimile. It started when I went to the store and saw that cucumbers were 99 cents a piece. And I thought, goodness gracious. As a kid, my dad had cucumbers, and we would bring in tons of them every summer, more than we could possibly eat. So I'm thinking, how hard would it be to grow a cucumber as pretty as this one? So I went to the nearby garden supply store and I said, I want to grow some cucumbers. And the nice guy said, how many? I said, a whole mess of them. He said, well, are you planning to plow a big spot of ground and plant millions? I said, no, just a few hundred. He said, well, let's start small. So he said, I need something like this to put seeds in. Seeds get bigger, I need something else. Of course, I'm going to have to transplant them into my mini garden here. You need that. Of course, you need potting soil. Oh gosh, you need tools. You know, you don't need any electric or gasoline stuff, but you got to plow the earth, dig it up, get rid of weeds. You need a watering can. You need garden decorations, scare off predators. So by the time I got all that done, I had about $100 invested. But I thought, I'm not a mathematician, but if I grow 500 cucumbers and it costs me only $100, that's not much. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to ask Don, my math friend. So I planted my seeds, followed the instructions. If you remember my last video, I talked about just possibly I had invented organic gardening. If not, you can check out the video linked above. But this time, there was no organic. I was using potting soil that I bought, fertilizer, proper pH water, all the right tools. I planted these things. I followed the directions about sunlight. I did everything by the book. And I planted what must have been hundreds of seeds. And what I ended up with looked mostly like this. I'm not even sure what that was. I had some cucumbers that did look like they would be edible, except they were the size of peas. I had one beauty, not this one, not quite this size, but it was a nice cucumber. So that cucumber with a couple others came out to about 30 bucks a piece. So I'm thinking, I need help. So I came inside to my small office, my corner, and I looked up the local phone book. It is pretty small, not much in it, but hey, this county only has 20,000 people. But there were yellow pages, and so I started to look. And there were listings for attorneys, personal injury and property damage. I might need that. Bars and grills, I might need that. Bail bonds, that could come in handy. Caskets, you never know. Payday loan, I'm going to need that. But then I finally got to farm supply and feed stores, thinking I'm getting close. And then something caught my eye. The plant doctor. And it said right there in the listing, we do Zoom calls. Now I know where to turn. So I got the plant doctor on Zoom. And actually, it looks like someone I know. And it says DeeDee. Hello, DeeDee?
How you doing, Mark?
And you're the plant doctor.
Yeah, who'd you expect?
Well, last time I talked with you, you were doing security at the dollar store in Watershed.
I'm not a one-trick pony. I can do more than one thing.
Well, you do, because of the Gary and Mark Podcasting University, you run security for that place.
Indeed, I do. I wear many hats.
Yeah, you still have that motorcycle gang?
Oh, yeah.
Wicked Women of Watershed, the
Ooh.
W3. Well, I think you've changed your bandana, maybe. You look good. Not that I'm supposed to say that, but, well, just let me tell you what's happening. You're the plant doctor. First of all, do you charge money for being the plant doctor?
Absolutely. You'll be getting my bill whether you hang up now or in 10 minutes.
Okay. Kind of like an attorney. You start talking, they start charging.
Sure.
You talk 5 minutes, they charge for an hour. And if any attorneys are listening, that's okay. We know how that works. But this is the plant doctor. I guess you have some qualifications.
I do.
Do you take credit cards?
As
PayPal?
long as I can pay, as long as I can spend it.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's all I have. It's credit cards. So, DeeDee, here's the issue. You live on a farm, is that not right?
That is correct, sir.
Because I've heard chickens and I've seen pictures on your website of plants you've grown, and quite impressive.
Thank
And
you.
I live like in the desert, though I'm not in the desert. And I spent about $100 to grow some cucumbers, thinking I would get thousands, big field of them. And that I could even have a stand if I wanted to, a vegetable stand. But I ended up with 3, of which only 1 really you could eat. And it was about 4 inches long. And it cost me, I think, when I figured it all out with my calculator, and I'm not good at math, but I'm thinking about $30 a cucumber.
All right.
So do you have any help for me?
Well, here's some advice for you. You could just give me $30 and I'll give you a cucumber.
Well, you know what? I got to put shipping in there, so that would cost a little more. Or you include shipping. It's sounding like a good deal.
You know, I swing by your house on the regular, so
Well, that,
I just drop by.
Well, that's true. All right. Now, how can I get it less than $30 a cucumber, though? I mean, I did try to grow my own. I mean, I was hoping I would have some luck.
Well, I mean, let's see your thumbs. Are they brown?
Well, they're not green, if that's what you mean. Where's the other one?
You know, I'm guessing the first time you ever tried something, you were not super successful at it. Am I right?
That's the story of my life.
Well, I don't think you ought to reckon that you'd be great at growing cucumbers the very first time you try. There is some skill that one can garner after a number of attempts, and you know, you're also working against things like the squash beetles and how much rain you're getting, and what kind of condition your soil is in. Did you amend it? Did you put some compost along the bottoms of the plants on the regular? Did you?
No, I did buy some potting soil. It was part of the expense, and I threw it in this container. Those 2 seeds on top of it. Sprinkled with water and waited a month. Came back, and they hadn't grown.
Do you reckon when you were a child that your mother just put you on the ground and came back in a couple months to check on you? Or did she come in at least once a day and give you a little sustenance and a little liquid to keep you alive?
You know, I hadn't thought about that. I guess she probably did check on me more than once every 2 months.
I'm guessing she did.
So you're saying that you just don't throw the seeds in the ground and walk away?
I know you might have been swayed by that Jack and the Beanstalk story, but
one of my favorites.
Yeah, that ain't how it happens. You got to actually go out there and tend. You got to weed. You got to water. You got to pick the bugs off.
Well, I didn't know anything about any bugs, but I had a little weeding thing that I bought at the store, and I had a little trowel I bought at the store, and a watering can I bought at the store, and that's where all my money was going. The seeds were the cheap part.
Right.
So,
I mean, you got to factor in the sunshine. You got to factor in the water. You got to think about the nutrients because this is a living thing you got in that pot there.
boy,
It's got to have food to make food, right?
I wouldn't know. That's why I'm calling you.
Well, you're getting your money's worth today, aren't you, boy?
You didn't tell me how much you were. You just said you have to be paid. Did you tell me how much it costs? We may want to stop now. Is it?
Well, you'll get the bill. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You know where I live.
I do indeed.
I do indeed. Yeah.
You know, and there's just also other factors like sometime a rabbit or a deer will come by and just eat your plant down to a nub. You got,
We have a dog that does that. That's the problem.
well, and sometimes there's a urinary factor you got to watch out for.
A what?
Well, you know, animals like to put their mark, and if you've been handling that pot and putting your smell on it, your dog may want to just kind of cover up your smell and put their own smell on it.
This was kind of an elevated little, container gardening, but I will say I do have one tall dog who probably could reach, and he's male, so he's able to like point.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been an issue.
I mean, you don't know. Sometimes a squirrel will come along and dig a hole and just knock your whole plant over.
You know what? I would go out there and find plants knocked over all the time, and I just thought they were dead.
I'm gonna tell you a real hot tip for that, and I mean that both in the literal and figurative sense of the word. Get you some cayenne pepper and sprinkle it all over the dirt. When that squirrel starts to digging in the dirt, he'll sneeze himself blind. He'll leave your plants alone from then on. But I will tell you,
It'll kill the plants.
no, it won't kill the plants, but it might kill you if you breathe in while you're sprinkling that stuff. My recommendation is take a deep breath, start sprinkling, and blow out the whole time, because otherwise you're gonna wet your pants.
Woo! I have some suet, bird suet that has hot pepper in it,
That's right, same principle.
but it won't kill the plants. My poor cucumbers. Because I mean, it doesn't take a lot for me to kill them. I'll tell you that much.
Apparently that's the case, but
Yeah.
if you're having trouble with squirrels, that's the only way I know besides, shooting them, and I don't believe in being cruel to animals.
No, me either. Me either. Except for mosquitoes, and I know they probably serve a purpose, but I haven't figured that purpose out yet. Have you? Have you, or is that more money to hear about mosquitoes?
I'm not real fond of skeeters or ticks. They're not my friends, but and I will if I find a tick, I will crush it. I have to say, I'm admitting it in front of the world right now.
All right. Well, people might hear that. So, are you busy as the plant doctor? I mean, do you want more customers, or?
I mean, if people would like to hear what I got to say, they're welcome to pay for the privilege.
All right. And they can reach you. Actually, I'll put a link on the YouTube video here. Maybe they can find you.
All right.
So let me ask one more question then. Is it too late now to start a new crop of cucumbers?
Well, I mean, it's kind of late in the season if you're going to start from seed. As hot as it is this week, you know, it's hard to tell. Sometimes those baby plants, they just can't handle the high heat.
I can't handle the high heat.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough out there right now. But you could, if you were interested in having some fall crops, you could, pretty soon here you might want to start up your collards, your kale.
Okay, now I'm not eating any of those things.
Why aren't you eating any of those things?
I don't know. They don't sound good. Collard greens? I thought kale was like seafood. I mean, seaweed. That's kelp.
That's kelp.
That's close.
That's going to be hard for you to grow where you live.
That's true. That's true.
Kale you could grow, and kale's real tasty. I mean, I wouldn't let it get too big. I like it when it's tender.
You know what? I won't stick with one crop at a time. I got some grass to grow not too long ago, and that was like by magic. So maybe cucumbers by magic, but maybe I'll wait till next year.
Well, and I'm guessing you need to put something in that dirt besides just potting soil. Potting soil is for house plants.
Oh.
I mean, you could have that, but you gotta amend it with some compost or, do you have a compost bin?
I got garbage. I can get the garbage out. How long does it take to make compost? Can't you buy compost?
Well, if you're a real slicker, you can. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Buy
well,
some.
I'm just not. Yeah, not. Yeah, well, I'm a city slicker trying to live in the country. Well, I
Yeah,
can learn a lot from you. I can tell this is a science and an art.
yeah. Composting is the ticket, though. I mean, then you have yourself a whole crop of pet worms. You'd be good to go.
Well, you need to just drop some of those off for me when you
Well,
come by on your motorcycle one day.
have some cash available because I don't have one of those fancy things to run a credit card off my bike.
Ah, you could get one real cheap. I could set you up. We could trade. I could set you up with a little Square reader or PayPal reader, and you give me free stuff.
Mm,
Maybe not.
I
All
don't know.
right.
I don't know about free, but we could work something out. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for this help, DeeDee. I'll look forward to seeing that bill. I'll pay you up as soon as I make some money.
The offer still holds to come by your house with the cucumber for $30.
And, I'm probably going to take you up on that. Although I will say at the store it was only 99 cents. That's sounding cheap now. At the time,
Yeah,
it sounded like
they're not going to be as good as my cucumbers.
I'm sure it's not. Yeah, they go bad in a hurry. All right. Well, Plant Doctor, I'll be back in touch and tell you how I did.
All right. Best of luck, sir.
Thanks so much. So we'll see you another time out there on the road. Bye, Miss DeeDee.
Bye, Mark.
So there you have it. It was nice to get the help and the advice of a professional. Yes, DeeDee might have seemed a little rough around the edges, but she knows her stuff. Money well spent. And one thing this episode did give me was a newfound respect for farmers and gardeners everywhere. It is not easy to get something to grow. So if I had a hat, I would say hats off to farmers and gardeners everywhere. You are true geniuses. If I had any advice for kids these days, it would be to join your local 4-H. Sign up, learn how to do something useful. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with others. This is Mark. This is the Country Life with ColumbusMark. Welcome to my neighborhood. Signing off.